I want to talk a bit about the founders. There's three of you in the picture from the early days. How did this team come together and who takes what roles?
And I think this is like one of the best ways for founders to get together. It's usually like a friend of a friend. So you knew them, you didn't, they weren't your direct friends, but you had like social credits that, social kind of reputation that you can count on. And so when I was venturing out and I said, right, I want to do something around this space, I found I was talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
As you probably talk a lot. So I ended up like finding people with common interest, and that's how we came together. In terms of the roles that we had, I think, we all played very similar roles in the beginning. Like everybody did everything, and that's how a startup even worked in the first place. Yeah. But eventually later on, I think I took on more of the strategy and the product role. I was really into marketing. The other was Sabrina took on operations. She really knew, what inputs and outputs and got the processes together and made sure we were producing at the right quality, at the right quantity. And Chin was like, she was super artistic. She was very creative. So she did a lot of our social media. She was doing some sales. She took the photos, and we were all doing everything. There wasn't like, I just did do this and you do this and we don't intersect. That wasn't possible.
So can you take us through the creative process of creating the products at Amazin Graze? Like, how do you know which flavors to go for? It may be trend or maybe something that you like, or it's based on research.
Yep. I think as a startup or as a still a younger company that is founder led, you'll definitely find that the people, the founders will have a huge influence on the creative process.
Yeah.
And that's actually not replicable, and ideally shouldn't be replicable, because it is influenced by the philosophy, like our values and our philosophy about what's good tasting and what's exciting, right? So, and that changes a lot. So I guess having the opportunity to have gone around the world and lived around the world and, shuttled between Australia, Malaysia and Singapore and other countries, I do get excited and I see a very wide range of trendy, flavors and ingredients, and it's always inspiring, right? And I think in our community of, people who want to live healthier, they are also discovering new ingredients. And I guess no thanks to the big food companies who are, kind of dominating our agriculture, who are always, that means we only get single grains or very few variety of grains and fruits and veggies and whatnot. We're now trying to broaden that. We're now trying to say, well, the world has so much to offer, and there is superfoods everywhere for different, and they've been there for hundreds and thousands of years. Well, let's bring them back. Let's expose more people to these ingredients. And so, so I think that is really inspires me to incorporate that into the creative process.
And talk about flavors, like you said, Asian food. It's very flavorful. It's very delicious, and certainly when we eat something delicious, it's high on the list, while healthy is likely very low. For example, classic flavors like gula melaka, it has a high sugar content. How do you adapt these Asian flavors and make them healthier in your products?
Yeah, really glad you asked. So gula melaka is a great ingredient. Like, there's so much history and local influence, and the way that's made is insanely like laborious, So and the ingredient itself, the sugar that's derived from that palm tree, is actually nutritious, and it's not all bad. So again, I'm hesitant, or I'm not very sure about this current trend of everyone saying, oh, no sugar, sugar's evil, or carbs are evil, or oil is evil, or fat is evil. I think, look, we've all gone a little bit crazy with just demonizing particular nutrients, right? But in the right amount, in the right integration, ingredient process, you end up getting this wonderful product that is delicious, but also in the moderation that your body's got to be happy with. So Yeah, so it's not about saying no sugar, no carbs or anything. It's about saying, well, let's incorporate the deliciousness of life and use that in ways that people are going to feel good and love it and be good for them, and not demonize everything, because that's not the way to live. And you will just get tired of this like zero sugar, zero carb life after a while and start binging.
And initially, the products were made by you and the co-founders in your home kitchens. As you expand, like, how do you ensure the same TLC and homemade goodness quality in now mass-produced products?
Yeah, I think one is our process is still very much, I call us a big bakery. We are still, the whole entire process has not changed. It may be just, from a smaller tray to a bigger tray now, but in terms of how the ingredients are added, how they're mixed and how they're laid on the trays, how they're baked, the way we have to pause in the middle and switch the trays in the oven so that it gets evenly baked, and that there's variability, right? Like you've got some crispier bits in the middle, and you've got, other parts around the edges that are a bit different. The color's going to be a bit more variable. Like this is a baked product from an oven. And so that's very much still very, very much the same as how we started the company.
So good, profit and people. I want to talk a bit about the company. It's founded and run by women. Like you said, we talked before, you said 90% of the company is female, and now it's led by Sabrina yourself. What are the advantages and disadvantages have you experienced in this almost all girls team?
Yeah, so 90% is more the management team, right? So the senior managers, I think, we have mostly women, a lot of women, and in different departments, it's more gender balanced, right? So we do have a lot of guys, and we treasure them. We're like, you are protected species in this company. We want you to stay. So I think the advantages and the disadvantages. So I've always worked in very male-dominated industries, so I guess I can have some view to that. It will just apply to my experience. I find that we value open communication a lot more. I think it's always like, guys, let's be vulnerable. Let's not hide anything under the carpet. This is the way things are. Let's talk about it, right? And I do think there's a lot more discussions and open communication, and therefore I find that collaboration spirit is really awesome. I think people may typically think that there's a lot of like politics between people, and maybe there is some of that. I would never say in a 200 plus organization there will be zero politics. That's just not possible. But I do think people are careful of each other's feelings. We're not ruthless. We take care of each other. We take care of each other's feelings. But at the same time, we're really ambitious. So there's this, I reckon this generation of women are at this like crazy level of ambition. Because I think maybe we've seen that, our previous generations, our moms and grandparents, they didn't have the same opportunity. And so we feel like we owe it to ourselves and to this intergeneration of people to make the best of our current privilege of being able to choose career and family and make the best of our lives. So I see as a consequence, there's just very driven women